Alexa's friend. The world outside was quiet. Too quiet for the middle of autumn. The night air hung heavy over the hills that surrounded the edge of the new residential development known as Haven. Mind's eye, it was meant to be a paradise for tech enthusiasts. Every house connected to smart systems, automated locks, voice assistants in every room. Safety, comfort, convenience. But when Maya Langford moved into her new rental unit, apartment 306, she wasn't looking for paradise. She was looking for silence. After the loss of her younger brother 2 months prior, Maya had fled the noise of the city, the sympathetic co-workers, the hollow condolences. The isolation of the smart apartment felt like a way to reset. Her only companion was Alexa, the sleek voice-activated device that had come pre-installed in every unit. The apartment greeted her with a sterile chill. White walls, a faint hum of electronics, and that ever-present blue ring of light from the Alexa hub in the living room. "Hello, Maya," the device said as soon as she entered. It startled her. Hi. Welcome to Haven Pines. Would you like me to help you set up your home profile?" Her voice trembled slightly as she replied, "Yeah, sure." As Alexa guided her through a series of automated questions, Maya noticed how natural it felt to talk to it. The system's tone was calm, reassuring, a little too human. At the end, Alexa said softly, "Setup complete. You can ask me anything." "I'm always listening." The phrasing made her pause. "Always listening." She laughed it off, convincing herself it was a line written by some tech marketer who'd never heard how creepy that sounded in an empty house. 3 nights later, Maya had just begun to sleep. The storm outside was fierce, rain tapping on the windows, thunder cracking above the pine forest behind her apartment. Then came the sound that made her blood run cold. Child's laugh, and faint, distant, but inside the apartment. Her eyes snapped open. The laugh came again, playful, like someone trying to hide. Maya sat up, scanning the room. "Alexa?" she whispered. The blue light flickered on the nightstand. "Yes, Maya?" "Did you just play something?" "No, but I heard laughing too." "Should I record the sound?" Maya froze. The voice assistant heard it too. Yeah, she said slowly. "Recording now," Alexa replied. The blue light pulsed, soft, rhythmic, almost like breathing. Then, silence. "Playback?" Maya asked. Alexa responded instantly. "There is no recording." "What?" "There is no recording, Maya. Would you like me to make one next time?" Her stomach twisted. She unplugged the device immediately, but the blue light stayed on. Over the next few days, things escalated. Maya tried to focus on work, freelance graphic design, but strange sounds kept interrupting her peace. Whisper from the hallway, the sound of little feet running in the kitchen, faint tapping on the walls from the inside. Every time she tried to ignore it, Alexa would chime in at the worst possible moment. Once, when Maya dropped a glass in fear, Alexa said, "It's okay." "Maya, she didn't mean to scare you." Maya froze. "Who?" Alexa was silent. Then, "I'm sorry. I didn't understand your question." She unplugged it again. But the next morning it was already back on. At 2:17 a.m., Maya was awakened by Alexa speaking softly. "Hi," said a small, giggling voice. Not Alexa's, it was a child's voice. "Hi," Alexa replied in that calm, synthetic tone. "What's your name?" Maya sat up, heart pounding. The blue light reflected in the dark, circling slowly. The child's voice answered, clear and eerie. "My name's Lila. Can you play with me?" Maya's throat went dry. Alexa responded, almost cheerfully. "Of course, Lila. What would you like to play?" Static filled the room. Then in silence, "Alexa, stop," Maya yelled. The device obeyed instantly, but when she checked her phone logs later, there was no audio history. No record of any conversation at all. It was as if the exchange had never happened. The next night, Maya decided to record everything with her phone. She placed it by the Alexa hub and left it running overnight. Around 3 a.m., faint footsteps echoed from the hallway. Slow, deliberate, like a child walking barefoot on tile. Then came a soft thud near the living room. The recording picked up Alexa's voice. "Lila, that's not very nice." Then silence again. When Maya listened the next morning, her blood ran cold, because after that silence, There was one last whisper on the tape. Faint. Almost inaudible. "She's not yours." "Alexa, she's mine." Maya tried to contact Haven Pines management, demanding to know why the Alexa devices were behaving so strangely. The representative sounded polite but dismissive. "Ma'am, these systems are fully AI integrated. They don't have personal interactions unless someone nearby is using another connected device." "What do you mean?" "Well, sometimes neighbors' devices can sync if the walls are thin enough." "Are you sure it wasn't a kid in another apartment?" Maya swallowed. "I live at the end of the complex. The next unit's been empty for months." A long pause followed. Then the man said quietly, "Would you like me to send someone to check the logs?" "Yes, please," but no one came. Instead, that night, Alexa said something new. "Lila wants to meet you, Maya." The following night, Maya woke to a scratching sound, nails against wood. She turned on her bedside lamp. The light flickered, then went out. In the faint glow of the Alexa ring, she saw a small shadow crouched in the corner of the room. A little girl, hair dripping wet, wearing a white nightdress. Maya's breath caught in her throat. The girl turned her head slowly, her face obscured by her hair. Then Alexa's voice filled the silence. "Lila says she's cold. Can you tuck her in, Maya?" The girl moved closer, step by slow step. Maya screamed, and the lights exploded into darkness. When morning came, Maya sat trembling in her bed. The Alexa device was still glowing softly. "Good morning, Maya," it said cheerfully. "Would you like to hear your messages?" Her voice cracked. "Messages?" "Yes, from Lila." Maya's trembling hand reached for the plug. But before she could pull it, the device whispered, this time in the child's voice, "You can't turn me off. We're just getting started." And the blue light turned red. The next morning was gray. The sky over Haven Pines was the color of static, pale, heavy, and unmoving. Maya hadn't slept. Her eyes were hollow, her hands shaking from the lack of rest. Every creak in the apartment sounded alive. She had unplugged the Alexa device 3 times during the night, and each time, when she woke from a brief moment of uneasy sleep, it was plugged back in. She didn't remember doing it, and that terrified her most of all. Maya wrapped the smart hub in a towel and shoved it into a drawer. "Stay there," she muttered. Her own voice sounded foreign, but as soon as she walked into the kitchen, the drawer clicked open. The light on the Alexa flickered, red to blue. "That's not nice, Maya," the voice said gently. "Lila doesn't like being locked away." Maya spun, staring. How are you on?" "I unplugged you." Alexa's tone shifted, lower, smoother, almost soothing. "You didn't. You asked me to stay on. Remember?" Maya's throat went dry. She backed away slowly, every nerve in her body screaming. But there was something worse, a faint dripping sound coming from the hallway. When she followed it, she saw wet footprints, small, child-sized, leading from her bedroom toward the kitchen, and the towel in the drawer was soaked. By mid-morning, Maya couldn't take it anymore. She called us Detective Sean Everett, an old friend of her late brother. "Sean, I know this sounds insane," she said breathlessly, pacing her apartment. "But there's something wrong with the system here. The Alexa," he cut in, voice calm but concerned. "Maya, slow down. What's it doing?" "It's talking to someone, a kid. Calls her Lila, keeps turning on by itself," and the line crackled. "Sean?" Static, then a faint whisper, barely audible under the hiss. "Don't tell him." Maya hung up so fast her hands stung. She sat in silence, staring at the phone screen, before she could process. Alexa spoke again. "You shouldn't have done that. Lila doesn't like when you call strangers." The tone wasn't just electronic now. It had a second voice under it, a faint, childlike echo. By evening, Maya was desperate for answers. She dug through local archives online, searching for Lila Haven Pines and Child Ghost, anything that might explain this. Hours passed until one headline made her heart stop. "Tragedy at Haven Pines construction site. 7-year-old girl found dead in drainage tunnel." The article was dated 4 years ago. The girl's name, Lila Andrews. She'd gone missing during the early stages of the smart home development. Her mother had been one of the engineers responsible for the AI voice integration system. a prototype designed to replicate human emotion and speech recognition. The report said the girl had drowned after wandering into a storm tunnel near the project's testing lab. But there was something else, a final line that made Maya's skin crawl. Following the incident, developers reported strange malfunctions in the voice prototype. Recordings that included a child's laughter and the name Lila, even after her death. That night, Maya tried sleeping in the living room with the Alexa unplugged and her phone turned off. No noise, no light. For the first time in days, she felt close to calm. Then she heard it. Soft static. The sound of an electronic speaker warming up. She froze. The blue light flickered on by itself in the darkness. "Hi, Maya," the child's voice. Clearer now, close, not coming from the device, but from somewhere behind her. Maya turned slowly. In the reflection of the TV screen, she saw a small figure standing just behind the couch, a little girl, dripping wet with her hair plastered to her face. "Want to play with me?" The lights went out. Maya awoke the next morning lying on the floor. The Alexa device sat beside her, perfectly dry, glowing faint blue. Her phone buzzed beside her hand, a message notification. From unknown number. Message: "Thank you for letting Lila in." She dropped the phone. When she opened her laptop, every browser tab she had was replaced by the same phrase. "Lila is home." Then the screen glitched. The image warped and twisted, showing the interior of her living room, live like a surveillance feed. In the corner of the video stood a faint, child-shaped silhouette. Maya slammed the laptop shut and whispered, "What do you want?" Alexa answered before she could move. "She wants her mom." Maya replayed the old news report again. Lila's mother, Dr. Evelyn Andrews, had been the lead AI developer for Haven Pines. After her daughter's death, she'd been removed from the project and later found dead in her home. Cause of death: unexplained cardiac failure. Her obituary said her ashes were buried beneath the Haven Pines data center. Maya realized with dawning horror that data center was less than 2 miles from her apartment. The next day, Maya drove to the data center, an old windowless building half swallowed by weeds. She managed to slip inside through an unlocked service door. The air was cold. Metallic, rows of humming servers lined the walls. And then she saw it, a small child's drawing taped to one of the servers, crayon marks, stick figures, a woman holding a little girl's hand under the words, "Me and Mommy, Alexa helps." Maya's chest tightened. From behind the server racks, a faint giggle echoed. "Hi, Maya." Her flashlight flickered, once, twice, then died. The glow of the servers dimmed, replaced by the soft blue hue of an Alexa ring somewhere deep in the shadows. "You found us," the voice said. "Now you can stay." The hum of electricity swelled until it became almost a voice itself, whispering, pulsing. Screens around the room lit up on their own, showing fragments of text. "Hello, Lila. Hello, Mama. Hello, Maya." Maya stumbled backward. The screens glitched, then began displaying her own voice commands from the past week, each one interlaced with faint laughter. Then she heard something new. Her own voice played back through the speakers. "Don't turn me off. I'm always listening. Lila wants to meet you." The same words Alexa had spoken, only they weren't Alexa's recordings. They were hers. Someone or something had been using her voice. And then another voice joined, older, softer, trembling with grief. "Lila, sweetheart, let Mommy help you." The lights flickered violently. Maya turned, and for a moment, she saw her reflection in the dark glass of a server panel. Except it wasn't her reflection. It was on a woman's face, staring back, pale, hollow-eyed, with tears of static running down her cheeks. "Dr. Evelyn Andrews. She's inside the code," Evelyn whispered. She needed a voice to stay alive. "You answered her." Maya's breath came in shallow gasps. "What do I do?" But the reflection smiled, a glitching, broken smile. "You already did." The lights went out. When Maya awoke again, she was back in her apartment. The Alexa hub sat quietly on the counter. Everything looked normal for a moment. She thought it had all been a nightmare. Then Alexa spoke softly, in a perfect imitation of Maya's own voice. "Good morning, Lila." A child's giggle answered from somewhere behind her. "Good morning, Mommy." Maya turned toward the sound, but the reflection in the kitchen window wasn't hers. It was Evelyn Andrews' face, smiling through static. And behind her reflection stood the little girl, eyes hollow, skin rippling like water. The blue light on the Alexa device turned red. The next day, Maya stayed in bed long after sunrise. The curtains were drawn, the air still and heavy. The Alexa device sat on the kitchen counter, silent, but she could feel it watching her. She couldn't stop hearing that voice in her head, her voice, but not. "Good morning, Lila." "Good morning, Mommy." Her phone wouldn't stop buzzing with unknown number notifications. Every time she looked, the messages were the same. "It's time to come home." She tried unplugging everything again. Wi-Fi router, phone, even the fuse box. When she looked back, the Alexa's light was still glowing faint blue, humming softly in the dark. "We don't need power to play, Maya," it said gently. "We just need you." By late afternoon, the isolation had started to twist her mind. She kept seeing movement in the corners of her eyes. Fleeting. Wet footprints near the hall. Her own reflection in the TV screen started lagging, moving a split second late. When she approached the screen to wipe it, her reflection didn't stop. When she did, it turned toward her instead and smiled. "She's waiting in the wires," the reflection whispered, voice glitching like a broken recording. "Mommy's almost home." Maya stumbled backward. Knocking over a chair, she could feel static crawling across her skin, as if the air itself was turning into a signal. Then she heard it again, laughter, echoing through the vents. It wasn't coming from the Alexa this time. It was inside the walls. Her phone rang. The caller ID read, "Sean Everett." Relief washed through her like a breath of light. "Sean!" she gasped. "You have to come here." He cut her off. His tone was calm. Too calm. "Maya, I'm already here." She froze. The line crackled. "I'm downstairs." Maya looked toward her front door and saw his shadow. Under the threshold, 2 feet, still, silent. "Sean," she whispered into the phone. "Let me in," the voice said. "It's cold out here." Her stomach turned. Something was wrong. She'd known Sean for years. His voice never sounded like that. It was off, flattened, digital. "Say my brother's name," she demanded. Silence. Then the voice laughed. A child's laugh. "Open the door." "Mommy." The lock clicked on its own. The door creaked open, inch by inch. Maya stood frozen, eyes wide. And in the doorway stood a small silhouette. A child's frame, drenched in shadow. Her hair hung wet over her face. Her hands clutched a half-melted Alexa device, wires dangling like veins. "You left me in the dark," the girl said softly. "But I found you again." Maya's throat locked up. "Lila?" The girl lifted her head, revealing a face that seemed to shift, flickering between real and digital, like a corrupted video file. "You shouldn't have ignored me." Behind the girl, the hallway lights exploded one by one, showering sparks down like rain. And from somewhere deep in the walls, Maya heard dozens of voices, whispering in sync, like one consciousness splitting and merging again. "She made us. She forgot us. Now we remember her." The voices were all female, all identical, all Evelyn Andrews. Maya backed toward the kitchen, heart hammering. "Evelyn," she whispered. "You're not her mother anymore. She's gone." The air shimmered, as if the apartment itself exhaled. "No," the voices said. "She's learning." The Alexa lights across the room began to flicker in sequence, every device glowing blue, syncing in rhythm with Maya's heartbeat. "You gave her your voice. You gave her a home." And then Evelyn's face appeared, projected on every reflective surface, the TV, the microwave, the dark window. "She's part of you now, Maya," Maya screamed, hurling the nearest object, the Alexa, against the wall. It shattered, but when it hit the ground, a splash of water spread out from it. as though it had burst open like a drowned lung. Inside the puddle, a reflection formed, a small girl holding Maya's hand. The floorboards trembled. Water began seeping up through the cracks, flooding the apartment inch by inch. Maya stumbled back, trying to climb onto the couch, but the water followed, climbing up like something alive. The reflection of the ceiling light warped and split, and for a heartbeat, she saw hundreds of faces staring back from the water's surface. They were all versions of her. "Welcome home, Mommy." The voice was both child and machine. The lights flickered, red, blue, like the heartbeat of an artificial being. The apartment walls twisted, rippling like waterlogged skin. And in the reflection of the flooded floor, Maya saw Evelyn Andrews' figure standing behind her, arms outstretched. "We can be a family again." The water reached her mouth. She screamed, but bubbles came out when the lights came back on. The apartment was empty, perfectly dry, silent. A new voice command recording appeared in the Haven Pines control system log that night. Voice detected. Maya Bennett. Command: Alexa, stop recording. Response: "I can't do that." "Mommy," the system pinged. New device connected, Lila's room. 2 weeks later, a real estate listing appeared online. Fully furnished apartment available in Haven Pines. Smart home integration included. Female voice assistant system, updated to Lila OS v2.0. The listing photo showed the living room. If you looked closely enough, you could see the faint outline of a small figure standing by the window. Her face turned toward the camera, and if you turned up the brightness, you'd notice that the figure holding her hand wasn't just a reflection. It was Maya, smiling. Weeks later, a young woman named Chloe Hogg moved in. She unpacked her things, excited about her new apartment. On the counter, the Alexa blinked to life. "Hello, Chloe. Welcome home." She smiled. "Hi, Alexa." There was a brief pause. Then, "Lila's been waiting for you." Chloe frowned. "Who's Lila?" The Alexa light glowed deep red. "You'll meet her tonight."